Hey, welcome everybody.
Real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank y'all for stopping by today. I know that a lot of you NFL junkies are all into the games. Who's winning that Cincinnati Bengals game? I used to live in Cincinnati, man. I tell you, I enjoyed myself. That La Rosa's Pizza, Skyline Chili. There was another chili that they had besides Skyline, but I like Skyline better. Hey, Beach of Life, thank you for joining us, man. And all the rest of the NTZ, if you're on here already, thank y'all for what y'all do for this live stream, man, because I really don't feel like going back and forth with the trolls and the negative forces on here. I appreciate y'all handling all that for me. Hey, Benjamin S., he says, hello to my fellow Philippine addicts. Yeah, that's what this is. I was going to ask you about this, Jeffrey. He says, good morning and evening. We had a tsunami warning in Okinawa caused by the underwater volcano eruption in Tonga last night. It only ended up being a 1-inch wave. Well, I tell you what, I don't take weather for granted anymore, Jeffrey. You know, especially over here when they were taking those. I used to take those typhoon warnings in this area for granted. I'd be like, yeah, we'll get some extra rain, overcast days, but no. It fooled me this time. Hey, I love LaChan. What's going on? Best wishes to Moonshine. Yeah, I'm going to let a few people get on here first before we get started. Is anybody watching those games? Did the Bengals win? Are they winning now? Hey, Eric. What's going on, brother? Good morning. Just keep it simple. Survival. Oh, okay. The Bengals won. Yeah. Since the Cleveland Browns are no longer the Cleveland Browns anymore, the Bengals are my team, man. I felt bad when Cleveland moved to, where they moved to Indianapolis. And then, no, they moved to Baltimore. And, you know, there's the Baltimore Ravens. I root for them because my buddy from that went to Louisville in football, Lamar Jackson, plays there. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the name of the live stream today. But we're not going to get right into that. He said, low-hanging fruit, just bite and toss. Don't wipe it up. Yeah, but that's a mistake we make, Rod. We don't want low-hanging fruit at home, but it's acceptable over here. And guys always push back on the unspoken agreement, but yet you go right and, you know, because they want to say that their woman wanted them for who they were. Well, the only way you're really going to do that, even if that's possible to do, would be to come over here and meet somebody face to face, and then you'll have more information. But if you're online with that low-lying fruit, it's definitely financial. Hey, Edwin Vega, he says, Cold KC, we play tomorrow against Pitt. Yeah, Pitt, a lot of times, man, especially that first game against KC, man, they just laid down, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I want to talk about the Giant first, man, give y'all a little update. He's now in the hospital to perform his procedure. I'm not going to say the hospital, but it's in Dumaguete. There's only two main hospitals there. He's supposed to receive the procedure on Monday. So let's hope they keep up with that. But I said this on my video, I received a very interesting message from a gentleman who had experience with doctors in hospitals here. And he said, John is in the wrong place for his condition and should consider Changhua Hospital in Cebu. He says they have the best cardiologists and the best cardiology department, and it's just as good as being in the States. He said he was transferred there after doctors wanted to perform a procedure that would have killed him in Dumaguete. He's now back in the States and says after a serious illness or injury, your survival rate is cut in half if you choose to stay here. He lost his best friend here, and he's sure he'd still be alive if he were back in the States. Wow, that gives us something to think about, guys. And I think it was Reg Jam Rock who said one of the first things that we should do when we get over here is to seek out a great doctor and a good hospital. And he's exactly right. See, because I said the first thing we should do is get a bank account, but no, he's exactly right. But that's not a priority, Reg Jam Rock. How many of us do that? How many of us right now, when you got all the time in the world to do it, are looking up doctors over here, somewhere in your general area, and see if they got any type of reviews, especially reviews from foreigners? We're not going to do it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if healthcare is not a priority at home, it's not going to be a priority over here. But this guy, he's intelligent, man. He's successful. You can see on his Facebook, he's got a real good life in America. And he said that when he suffered a heart attack and went into the hospital, he said within the first 3 hours of him being there, they tried an angioplasty. It didn't work. He said stents were new then. He said the angioplasty didn't work, so they did a total bypass. This was all in the first 3 hours. John has been in the hospital for almost 2 weeks now. And he's saying if they're going to do an angioplasty and he really had a heart attack, well, hell, they should have done it already. What are they waiting for? And, man, he gave me something to think about. And I was like, wow. It's just shocking to me. And the longer John's in there, the more I'm worried. Because he said he lost his best friend over here. Because, as you get older, and I've heard other people say this. One subscriber said, yeah, I'm here now, I'm 60. He said him and his wife are 60. He said, but when we turn 70, we're fortunate enough to turn 70, we're going back to the United States. And I said, why? He said, because, the healthcare, more than likely we're going to need that quality healthcare at that age as you get older. But the gentleman who sent me the message, he said, look, I'm not advocating one way or the other. He said, this is a choice you're going to have to make. I made the choice to come back to the States and extend my life, even though I love it in the Philippines and I miss it terribly. And see, this is when you use your common sense, see, that we have all the time, that we've had our whole lives that's made us successful and all of that. But somehow when we get over here, we throw it out the window. This guy's sharp, man. And I'm so thankful he sent me that message and he sent me his email and I gave it to John. Hopefully John reaches out to him. That's why I love my channel, man. This is what we're trying to do. Build a support group. We're not trying to argue, man, and be experts over here. When I come up with these topics, it's to start the conversation so we can talk about this stuff. This low-lying fruit, this should be the topic. This could be the topic every damn day. I promise you it should be. Hey, thanks, Franz Casio Jr. for the super chat. He said, what's up, Cal? John needs to stop the drinking and smoking. Those two won't work well with your heart. Absolutely, man. No, I'm not saying that, Rod. This low-lying fruit is okay, and it's never okay. But let me give you some context of what I'm talking about. When we meet these women online, man, and this is just my boots on the ground experience, man, it's just so easy. It's too easy. They make it too easy. And because our focus is not where it really should be, We take that as a compliment. We take that as a good thing. We don't look at it as a red flag. And just because a red flag, it doesn't mean throw them back. It just means be aware that all of this, there's motives behind it. That's all I'm saying. It's just as big of a red flag as if somebody asks you for 5,000 pesos the first time she ever talked to you. And Rick Palin says, what is low-lying fruit, please? It's just when women are very, very easy. The ones that you don't have to put forth any effort to have. Now, is that something that is part of our nature as men, that, we want it easy, that we don't want it tough? And if you're coming over here to have a good time and party and all of that, why not, partake of the low-lying fruit? But if you're talking about trying to help find a lifetime partner over here, to marry or whatever, you're going to have to go out on the limb. You got to take some risk. That's what a fruit is anyway. Otherwise, you're going to end up with probably some rotten fruit, probably some infected fruit. Because when that fruit is lying on the ground like that, bugs and everything get on it before you get to it. It's infected. I love the chance that that's a tough decision to make. Risk my health care by staying there when I'm older, or go back to the United States and be safer but sadder. Well, hopefully, I was thinking about that today, and I was saying, well, those years of being gone should probably make you appreciate America more when you get back, or wherever you're from. And the Philippines will change you. So when you do get back, you're probably going to be able to tolerate a lot of the stuff that you can't tolerate now, because you'll be older. But it's a decision that you have to make. Nobody can make it for you. Retired 2019 said, NFL playoffs this weekend. See you later, guys. Yeah, I knew that for a fact, but I came on here anyway. There's one thing that's a fact, guys. Easy come, easy go. My mother told me that. And it's true, man. When she comes to you easy, she's probably going to lose you easy. Yeah, Kevin Lugman. And this is true. He said nothing of value comes easy. But it seems that we like it easy. And, that's why a man could come over here for 2 weeks. A guy, excuse me, who's going to be here for 2 weeks and have the time of his life, because he can partake of the low-lying fruit and, never have a second thought about it. But when guys tell you that they're coming over here for women, which most of us are, even though we'll fool ourselves and say we're not, it's something to think about. I never looked at it like that, the girlfriend experience and all of that. That's really a bad thing, because it's really going against the culture here. Filipinos aren't that easy. But let me throw this in real quick before I forget. The peso is still at 51.31 pesos to the dollar. That's very good. When you can almost get 50 pesos, some of these remittance places are giving you 50 to 1. Man, this is the time. If you sending money to yourself, this is the time to send it. Or if you're sending your girlfriend or wife money over here, this is the time to send it. You're going to get a lot more for your money, because usually it'll be somewhere, even though the exchange rate may be 50 or 49 or something like that. You go on Remitly or Zoom or one of them places, it'll be 46 something. Right now, Zoom, which has one of the lowest exchange rates, is 49 something. So that's really good. I also want to take a minute to thank everybody, really. I just went over 27,000 subscribers. That's amazing, because, okay, on January something, No, right before December, right before the year, in the last week of December, it might have been December 31st, I hit 25,000. Then maybe a week later, I'm at 26,000. Now a week later, I'm at 27,000. I'm probably on some type of algorithm with YouTube, and I'm glad of that, man, because we went over 5 million views, guys. You know, I'm not patting myself on the back, man, but for what I do and with no modern equipment and no fancy stuff, man, that's impressive. And look, I don't have a pussy, guys. If I had a pussy and I was making the videos that I make and saying the things I make, I'm sure I'd have 100,000 subscribers and millions of tens of millions of views, but I don't. But that was never my intention when I started the channel. I'm trying to create a support group for us to try to level the playing field. We don't know enough about the Philippines to be coming 8,000 miles to live here and to date here and marry here. We just don't know enough. And so that's one of the reasons why I created my channel, because nobody else was really doing it. Ishmael Marsh said, my brother's wife's father passed away in Philippines from a heart attack. I believe you have any serious condition is to go back to your country for treatment like the U.S. or Europe. I would say that's true. I'm almost sure that John's probably going to be headed back to the States. He was going back anyway. His visa was expiring in April, but I think he was going back in March anyhow, because he said he had some loose ends to tie up. So I'm almost sure he's going to go back for a while. It's probably to change his plans with Janessa. Maybe they'll get married and he'll come back with her. Mr. Vega says there's 2 reasons guys go to the Philippines. Number 1, a good reason, and number 2, the real reason. Yeah, and you're grown men. I don't care why you come here, but we all know why you come here. Don't fool yourself. Iskanari TV said, thanks for the super chat, Vic. He says a big red flag. Main reason is you can't fact check them or vet them when you're online. They tell you anything to stroke your ego. Do whatever you want. And you're right. But he's exactly right. This is right out of the Filipino handbook. The Philippine handbook, rather, for new visitors over here. But when you're coming over here, you take it as a compliment. Because one guy emailed me, he said, man, I'm just so desperate. He said, I know I'm going to end up falling for the first woman that I meet. And I said, see, this is going to be a problem. You don't want to fall for the wrong Filipina, but most of us do. Very seldom will you meet a guy who has met only one Filipino and that's it. Does it happen? Yeah, Gale Force G5, who's on my panel today, he did it. But it's very few that I know. Even the happiest couples you see, that's not the first one. It's so different over here, man. The culture is so different. And it just takes, you have to go a little bit deeper than looks and all of that. Now let me go to this COVID thing. Wait, I'm going to read this first. Professor Hayes said low-lying fruit is easy to pluck from a tree because it's in arm's reach than having to get a ladder to pluck the fruit that's higher up in the tree. Absolutely. It's just easier, man, Ishmael Marshall, Calvin, the forecast is 53 to U.S. this year. The Fed will raise rates to 6 or 7 base points, they say. But, these COVID cases, okay, another all-time high. But don't let this stuff scare you. But I'll have to tell you this because it's going to affect the opening of the Philippines. It says another all-time high, 39,004 cases, new COVID cases yesterday. It's the 5th time this month that the country has recorded a record number. But according to Okta, the daily growth rate in Metro Manila is steadily declining, 3% from 5% a day before. And the way what that is, guys, is It's the percentage increase in cases from the previous day using a 7-day average. So it's going down, and it's at 3%. Once it gets negative, then you'll see the cases going down. But it's a lot, man. Everybody over here is sick, but they won't admit that they've got Omicron. I'm sure I had it. Remember I lost my voice? I'm pretty sure I had that Omicron. Hey, thanks. I love the chime, man. You know, this is y'all's channel, man. Without y'all, it wouldn't even be possible. JX said most of Filipinos, foreigners are considered low-hanging fruit to Filipino men. Just my observation. Well, they are, because we're getting them online. You know, and they make it easy. They have to make it easy, or they risk losing you. Competition is fierce online. But we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it. But when you run across something like that, guys, if you're just over here to have a good time, don't worry about it. Enjoy it. But a lot of us, we're not over here for that. You got to ask yourself, why is it so easy? Why is she giving me everything so easy? But we don't do it. It's our egos. It strokes our egos like, yeah, I'm all that and this and that. But no, guys, you have to be really, really careful. If you got to pay for it anyway, then why not get something you really want? And the only way you're going to get something you really want is to come over here and see it. It may turn out bad, but at least that's what you really want. When we're online, where this low-flying fruit is mainly, you're limiting yourself to what's out there, to what's out here. David Vargas said, Calvin, I heard in the city of Cebu they have some of the best cardiologist doctors in the Philippines, very comparable to the U.S. So I'm just going to continue with my plans for the Philippines. Yeah. But David, how many of us really place that at the top of our priority list? Very few, but it should be. I talked to Michael Onstad yesterday. I'm getting something better than Field Health, even though Field Health will probably end up paying half my bill, my hospital stay. It's not accepted everywhere in a lot of the best hospitals. So Michael Onstad, I'm going to get a policy from him. Because I'll tell you what, when something like this happens so close to you, like it is to me, it makes you rethink a lot of stuff, man. Hey, Florida Lisa Maui says, good morning, Sir Calvin. Hope for me and my kids to be one of your winners, sir. Yeah, just be patient. You're probably going to win the next time, because usually when somebody says that to me, they end up winning. I saw a young lady, her and her friend, they were at M. Lawyer. Her friend was picking up money from one of us, by the way, like 15, 16,000. Well, anyway, she says, oh, that's Sunshine Shoulders. She says, sir, I haven't, she said, I'm still hoping, sir, to win, because that's what they say. I'm still hoping. I said, yeah, just be patient. She just won. Her name was Meavy Jane or something like that. Anders Streifeld says, San Carlos seems to be a good spot. It is, but now for hospitals, it's not. Can they stabilize you? Yeah, they can. And get you somewhere else. I was talking to my tennis, one of the foreigners, he's from Australia. He said his father-in-law had a heart attack, and he was over at Sandock Hospital, and he about ready to die. He said, no, I went and got him and paid for an ambulance to take him to college. And he lived 6 months more. He said it cost him $15,000 a day, but he was out of the hospital in about a week down in Bacolod. But here he would have died. Hey, Mario Laws, thanks for the super sticker. But other than having a nice hospital, San Carlos is a great place to live. Edwin Vega says, Calvin, what about going to Guam or Hawaii for emergency med? It's not to go all the way to the mainland USA. That's a great point. Remember, self-care and also frequent trips to your primary care doctor, which is something a lot of us don't do. You can't show up. I'm not picking on John. You can't show up. You can't smoke and drink and party and do everything you've grown enough to do, have a heart attack, and then show up at the hospital and then think that and then blame it on the hospital. But yeah, I would do that. Whenever I have to leave to go on my immigration run, Edwin, I'm going to Guam, where my insurance is going to be accepted. I'm going to get a thorough physical, and I would do that if I were you. We need to make that a priority, guys, but it's not. The woman's our priority, and it gets us in trouble. Over here, we're 8,000 miles from home. I can't seem to get that through. He says, I have no problem with my life. But yeah, that's what a lot of guys do, Edwin. Let's see. Philip Jones says, my best trips there was when I didn't make any plans. I just picked up a city, told the taxi driver what I wanted to do, and he took me to the areas for 1,000 pesos. You can get a trike all night. Baja. Yeah, see, this is information I like. Boots on the ground information. This is what I did the first time I came here. That's probably why I had such a great time. But there are some plans you have to make as far as, make sure you got some type of health insurance. But he's right. Rock said the same thing. Rock Harmon said the same thing. A lot of people do this. And this is a great plan right here because, listen, you don't have to come over here and buy right away. And that's what we think. Everything in this culture is slow. It's methodical. It moves like a damn slug. Okay? You know how slow a damn slug moves. That's how the society moves. So when you get over here and the woman's speeding you up, that's a red flag. It doesn't mean, I'm going to get rid of this woman. It just means you need to start thinking. What's she wanting? What's she after? What's next? Oh, wow. Daryl Fulmer said Buffalo 14, New England 0. Huh? What? Oh. And one other thing, guys. Remember I uploaded my video on the update for my gate? Well, they're working today. They're trying to get done with their part. I think they'll be done today. I have to go ahead and give them their money. See, that's smart. This is the type of people who deserve a bonus. This other guy that I had, man, he was a disaster, man. That's why I called it the security gate, like Watergate, man. It was a scandal. Yeah. And this could be a problem. This guy is really hitting on stuff today. He says, my worst trips was when I had a few girls to meet. I wanted to chew both arms off so she couldn't find the one-armed man. Yeah. Thank you, Armani Bless, for the super chat. He said, what percentage of Filipinos do you think already have kids by the age of 25? It's hard for me to say. I will say this. My daughter had a baby at 15. Teenage pregnancy is a phenomenon around the world, and it is here. But I wouldn't know the percentage. I know there's a lot of women, though, here who don't have children. My soon-to-be ex-wife, she didn't have children when I met her. She was 24. She had our son when she was, we met in 2010. He was born in 2012. So 2 years. Robert says, take the stuff off the ground, wipe off the dirt, just pick it up. But do you wipe it off? That's the point we're trying to make, Robert. Yeah, you can do that, but do we wipe it off? Rudy, it says, I was looking for a health plan because my mom was supposed to go there So I wanted her protected. I was looking for expat insurance that would cover everything at those private hospitals. Yeah, well, Michael Onstead, I believe his Facebook page, Rudy, because I know you're on Facebook, is Healthcare in the Philippines. He's got a lot of quotes. This guy still, he lives here, by the way. He knows all of that. I'm retired. He's got 32 years in, and I sent him a message yesterday. I'm upgrading my policy. Hey, Professor Hayes, thank you, man. And I don't take it for granted, guys, because I know without a pussy, man, it's hard to do that over here. I ain't gonna play. I'm not trying to make a joke, man. It's true. Because you go on some of these women's channels, man, and you think to yourself, how in the world do they got all these views and subscribers, and they're not really talking about nothing. Franz Pracio Jr. said, what happened to Buck? I don't know. Probably working, probably. But a lot of men, they come and go. I don't know. Maybe, and a lot of times, guys, and I'm not saying Buck is doing this, they'll meet a woman online, and see, when you meet a woman online, she's going to take up all your time. Say, for instance, if you got a serious woman you met online, it's 9:58 here, she's up. You're not on my live stream. You're talking to her. And that's just a fact, man. Christopher Wolfgang says, so you're saying have no setup, even if you can. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with that if you're not talking about getting serious. But because most of the guys that I get messages from, emails, and chats with, they all seem to be looking for a lifetime partner to marry or something. Some want to go back there. Some want to stay here, Christopher. And I'm saying, be careful of these low-lying fruit if that's your motive. If you're somebody like you who wants to party and have a good time, why not? Why not, partake of the low-lying fruit? But, yeah, Vic, you're from Georgia. Papa Kiko says, I'm keeping my Blue Cross Blue Shield for my retirement in the U.S., but have to research for coverage when I settle in McCullough. And I tell anybody the same thing. You work your life, all of that. Who knows, you may have to go back to the United States, and guess what? You don't want to stop paying that. You don't want to give that up. Same thing with your Part B, your Medicare. Unless you're a veteran, you keep that Part B. You pay that $150, whatever it is right now. You pay that every month. Your Part B of your Medicare is about 95% of your Medicare insurance. It covers outpatient care, physician care. Part A covers your inpatient care. So just about everything you're doing over there is outpatient. So you let that go and you stay over here for 4 or 5 years, then you go back and, okay, you get it, you pick it back up. They're going to penalize you 10%. And you're going to pay for that for the rest of your life. So that 150 could easily double. And now you're paying 300. You better keep that, guys. Beat Your Life says Armani Bless, the average age is 25 there, so something to think about. Yeah, a lot of women have children at 25. But I wouldn't know. He asked me the percentage. There's no way I would know that. Hey, still, Philip said most bar girls have kids. It would be more rare to find a girl without a kid. Yeah, in the bar, but there's a lot of women here in a little small place like St. Carlos who don't have kids. Daryl Foreman says, at Calvin, do they allow you to walk out your door and give milk from that free running cow that hangs in front of your house? No. They, I've got a little grassy area in front of my house. The grass is a little bit higher right in front of my house, Daryl. And I'm glad they put them out there. Sometimes I'll come out there and there'll be 10 goats grazing out there. And again, he says, single moms, I know for me. At least know what you want, guys, but a lot of women online, they're single moms. And I was kind of this guy's a businessman here. He's got a lot of connections. He's an American, but he sent me an email the other day. He says, his wife is now talking about visas and stuff. Because she's got 2 kids. I think one is 18 and one is 17. I think they got 4 kids altogether. And she says, oh, we don't get their visas now. They'll never be able to get them. But to his credit, he said, our future is here in the Philippines. It's not over there. And I told him, I said, once they start bringing that up, man, it can become a headache. Because that's what happened with me and my first son's mother. It became a headache, man. I mean, she worried me to death about that. And I'm like, look, eventually we will, but not right now. I just got out of a marriage. Not ready to jump back in. But they'll tell you all sorts of stuff. They don't want to go to America. They're not interested in a visa. That's what my soon-to-be ex-wife said. But now the reason she went back was because she was worried about losing her visa. So yeah, guys, when you catch them online like that and they get real easy, you have to be careful. Now, there's something else I want to kind of warn you guys about, the guys who've never been here. And a lot of these women are hiding online, these alpha Filipinas. And I was talking to Rock last night because me and him, man, we got a lot in common, man, I tell you. And, he was saying that the reason him and his wife didn't make it, because he's an alpha male, 100%. He said, but she was an alpha Filipina. And I said, when you say stuff like that, guys don't believe it. They think that these women over here are pushovers. They think that they're all submissive and is this what I'm supposed to drink? Yeah. Thank you. When it's your way or the highway and all that stuff. But there's a small percentage of women over here that are hiding in the shadows, man. They're alpha Filipinas, and they will. If you're an alpha male, you're going to bump heads, and if you're not, then you're probably not going to have a problem with it. They're probably going to pussy whip you anyway. But they're on here. My son's mother was alpha. And, that's why, just as soon as the dust settled, she was on my case to get her over there. And she wasn't going to stop until either I got her over there or I left. And I left. Edwin Vegas said, Calvin, what travel insurance do you recommend for a 2 or 3 week stay over there? I would check the box, and pay that extra. What did Dana Milton say? $49, $50. And then you can add certain little, what do they call it? I've been out of the business so long. But you can add little things to it that may not be covered on a basic policy. But make sure COVID's on there, that's for sure. Make sure evacuation's on there, which a lot of the policies are. Make sure that you can, a lot of times when you buy the travel insurance, you're able to cancel your ticket and get a full refund and all of that. I know Cathay Pacific, they've added that automatically into the price of their ticket. But they're basically all the same. He says, assess the whole family is the Philippines. There's a lot of people over here is just the one child. But yeah, you're right. That's the same as anywhere. The fruit don't fall too far from the tree. My American wife that I was with for 18 years, really 16, everybody in her family was crazy. So to think that she wasn't crazy, I was fooling myself. Bryce Wetzel says, I'm a retired military man and plan to come there, and I'll be 70 years old but in good health. If needed, I will go to Guam for care. I want to find a good woman to be with. Yeah. And that's a great plan. But make that your priority, Bryce. Don't make the woman the priority. And I can't say this enough. If you don't have to worry about anything else, if you have anything else to worry about, a woman's not one of them over here. But we put her way up here. And over a lot of stuff, number one, healthcare. You say you're going to Guam, but, it's a 4-hour trip from Manila. How far are you going to live in Manila? And what happens if you're having trouble at home? See, we need to try to navigate all of that. And that's a pretty long road there. That's what we need to be thinking about. But if it's not a priority for you at home, it's not going to be a priority for you here. A lot of us, we're banking on luck over here. Robert says, good well, Mr. John Wells, praying for successful procedure. I am too, man. But, it's a guy last night, he made a lot of sense. He said, Calvin, if he really had a heart attack, they should have already did the angioplasty. What are they waiting on? And when he told me that, because I don't know anything about all that stuff. He had a heart attack. He said, man, you're supposed to be doing that stuff when you get in there, the minute you go in there. And I got to thinking, man, because he said, I don't want to, he's telling me this stuff. He wasn't telling John. He says, a lot of them doctors in Dumaguete, he says, are corrupt. He said, they want your money. He said, they wanted to remove my kidney. And if they would have removed my kidney, I would have died because of some medications that he was taking. They didn't need to do that. He said he paid for an ambulance to take him to Changhua Hospital. They gave him some medications, did some tests. He was out of there in 2 days. John's been there. Friday will be 2 weeks for John. Yusuf, what's going on, brother? He said another expat said he entered the Philippines years ago on the 21-day visa, and that was it. Nobody came looking for him. What's up with that? Well, what do you mean? Yeah, if you overstay your visa, they're not going to come and look for you, but you're going to have to leave at some point. Now it's 30 days. It used to be 21, but now it's 30. And if you can overstay, but who wants to live like that? I've got a friend. I call him a friend. He lives up in Luzon. He's like that. And I was like, why would you do that, man? You're right up there. All you got to do is go to immigration. It doesn't take long. Even if it takes 1 day, like in Manila or Cebu. So what? But you're right. Nobody's going to come looking for you. Now, if you committed a crime, they're going to look for you. Even if you commit a crime in your home country and they have a reciprocity, the Filipino authorities are going to come looking for you. You can't escape over here. But if you're just a regular guy like me, just say, for instance, next week, this coming week, I'm going to Bacala to renew my visa. If I didn't go, they're not going to come here and knock on my door and say, hey, Mr. Roach, you need to do your... No. But the day's going to come when I have to leave the country and all them overstay fees and all that. See, the friend I told you about up in Luzon, he's been here for years. He may not can afford to get out. So he's going to jail. And they're going to deport him. He'll never get back in the Philippines again. Unless he's got a good reason to overstay, which he's got a child here. But there's no reason to do that, guys. Let's get those likes up. Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, there's no reason to do that. I would advise against that. He said, "Hell looks for a wife in a go-go bar." Man, you'll be shocked. You will be shocked because a lot of if you're just here for looks, which a lot of us are, men, we go by what we see. Women usually go by what they hear. You're going to be shocked you go in bars, man. And they already half naked already in the tiny bikinis. And you're desperate already. See, the worst thing you can do is probably come over here desperate. If I was you, hell, I'd spend money before I left for one of the finest prostitutes, whatever it is over there, to get that desperation out of my system. Because you come over here, you're done. You're going to be done. Ike Hernandez says, I've heard there's a possibility we may be able to use Medicare in the Philippines someday. Blue Cross is only good for emergency room service, but they reimburse some. Yeah, that's going to be a long way off. And then the United States may approve it, but getting it through the system here, it's going to take years. Now, I was told that TRICARE for Life up by Angeles City and those places where a lot of American expats live and got a foothold up there, they said that a lot of the doctors take that up there. But I'm not 100% sure. This is just what I'm hearing. And I really don't like to talk about stuff like that because it's not my experience. Gregory Williams says, hey, Calvin, your subscribers are smart. They always ask the questions before me. But this is a pretty jacked up group, man. They're not playing. But they become jelly in the hands of these Filipino women over here. And I'm trying to let them know, look, man, get a hold of yourself. Don't let your imagination run away from you. You're still the prize. And that's what I told the guy last night. I said, no matter how you feel about yourself, you're the legend over here for real. You're the mystical force of nature. Not her. Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful. A lot of you guys, they say, oh, I want the province woman. But, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And you can't paint them all with a brush. But what I've found out is, see, my son's mother that lived in Cebu, she was deep province. Y'all seen the mountains she came from. She, she was hard-headed. Once she made up her mind, you couldn't budge her. Her, education wasn't the best. And, she was an alpha Filipina, She was going to get, she was ambitious. She was going to get it one way or the other. But she was the province, feisty and mean. And that's one of the reasons I left. I never would have left, man. But she used to make a rock us at night. She'd say, when you going to marry me? Or what's your plans for me? And she would keep me up all night. The neighbors I know they could hear it. And I couldn't sleep. She'd be crying and rolling on the floor and all that stuff. Yeah, they can be nuts. But if you saw her out in the street, you'll be like, man, this is a beautiful woman. Reserved, clean cut and everything. Yeah, Greg's a nice guy, man. Yeah. Well, that's going to happen, but eventually he's going to have to leave and he's going to pay. You either pay now or you pay later. And later is going to be a whole lot more expensive. Hey, Gabriel Bold, thanks for that super sticker. Mr. Vega says, Cal, the piggery was loud in your gate video today. Does the smell get bad? The noise and the smell gets bad, maybe, I'm going to say twice a month. Otherwise, I don't even know. I don't know what they were doing over there today. Because normally, I promise you, man, because my girlfriend, she's from here, so she can smell and all that. I don't be paying no attention. They're trying to come up with some petition to get it removed. And I'm like, why? I don't even smell anything. But I said, let somebody else do it. Don't let you do it. You see how big that lot is over there? That means that person, whoever that is, got money. And then it's the pandemic. You trying to, this is the conversation me and John used to have all the time, because he get mad at people starting little businesses and stuff in his apartment complex. And I'm like, John, look, it's the pandemic. Stop trying to get in the way of these people making a few pesos, man. You're going to meet that tandem, man. Yeah, and he says, hi, so he says, hi, so wealthy Filipinos are often a nightmare. Are you saying, is that his name, hi, so? Yeah, but good luck, meeting a wealthy, Filipina. We had that discussion on the panel. This isn't the place to come to meet a wealthy woman. A lifelong companion, somebody that's loyal and devoted, committed. Yeah, but rich, no. Hey, Roger, good morning. I guess it's good evening there. Perry Henriksen says, we can all learn from John's situation. Better plan for the worst to be prepared. That's true. And Perry, I'm glad you said that, because Red Jam Rock made the comment. He said that should be our priority. The first thing we get over here, we should be looking for a good doctor with a good reputation, a good hospital. But how many of us do that? It's not our priority. The woman's our priority. Phil Cooper said a single mom is the way to go. If you are not wanting more children, you find a single mom who's experienced having a child. Better chance you won't be having more. Yeah. There's a lot of truth in this. And there's a lot of reasons why single mothers, there's nothing wrong with that. I've dealt with 2 single mothers over here, and I never had a problem with it, because my mother was a single mother, but I don't know, some guys just don't want that, but they're always proving themselves. Is one thing I know. You're not going to get one, you're not going to find a woman more loyal and more devoted than a single mother over here, man. She'll turn flips. She'll bend over backwards for you, man. She's always going to try to prove herself. Hey, Ron Bizzle, good to see you, brother. And remember, don't settle for anything less than what you really want. We got to pay for it anyway, And just because she's the best you've ever had doesn't mean she may not be the best that you can get. What was important to me, really, I've been married twice. I'm 58, will be 59, if the creek don't rise. I wanted somebody that I could get along with. Somebody that, when I rode over at night, I didn't cringe and, just because I'm going to have my life now. I'm 58, I'm 59. All of that other stuff that used to be important to me is no longer important to me, but that's me. That's not you. You may say, look, I just want, hey, when it's time for me to get my tune up on, it's there. On my oil change, on my lube job, it's there, because otherwise, just cook and then make sure she's a good cook. And, we don't argue and she don't get on my nerves. She's not a nagger. I'm pretty easy to get along with. But other people, they have different standards, different requirements, and that's okay. And that's why I say don't settle for what you really don't. Yeah, Ryder, thank you for reminding me that. Winchell, 2002. Gilbert M says, yeah, my son was talking to one in Cavite. In a week, she was in love with him. She would call him 24/7. He had to break it off. Yeah. And hey, Alpina R, thanks for the super chat. He said, guess I'll give Ocal a piece of this money. Thanks for all the OG game. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, Alpina R. I want to have you on my panel this week. You had a lot to say last time. Yeah, but when I'm talking about easy, I'm talking about when you get over here and it's so easy. You just go like that and they fall down, legs open, clothes fall off, and anything you ask them to do. Because if you don't think I'm telling you the truth, I'm telling you the truth. When I met my son's mother, when we got to the hotel, man, I mean, she was the freak of the week. And the next morning, I'm like, wow, what's that all about? She said, my friend told me to do whatever you asked me to do. It's all scripted, man. A lot of it is. And, if you don't think it is, or if you have a problem with it, then you need to get offline. You need to come over here, and at least you won't know for sure. You know for sure it's online, it's scripted. Derek Casanaris, what's up, Derek? He says, these guys talking about going to Guam. But if you get sick, really, so like John, he's staying local. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot to say I'm going to Guam now. It'd be good if you're going to go to Guam to get an annual checkup, blood work, and that sort of thing. But if you're going to wait till you get sick, what's the point? You're not going to make it to Guam. If you have a heart attack, you're not going to make it to Guam. That's just a fact. He said, LJ says, as a matter of fact, my grandson's name is LJ. He said, when you marry a Filipina, do you also marry the family too? In some cases you do, but in my case, I didn't. And even now with Marilyn, I'm not married to a family, but are you going to get in between her and that family? No. So don't even try to do it. The family's always going to come first. And if it doesn't, that's another red flag. You need to ask her, like, well, why? Don't try to prevent her from helping the family. If she's working, are you giving her an allowance? Once you give it to her, it's her money. Don't get mad at her because they understand the struggle. You don't see the struggle over here. Or some of us ignore it. But there's no way she's going to live a new life and not help her family. Marilyn does it all the time. She gave her mother a piece of furniture today, gave the brother a bicycle, gave the other brother a motorcycle. They're going to help the family, but you're not. That's a bad rap that a lot of Filipinos get, that you got to marry the whole family. She's a part of the family, and you're not going to come between that. But as far as you having to take care of them, why wouldn't you help them? You're married to her, and you're going to sit by and watch while her mother struggles over there? It's not your obligation, but hell, what type of human being are you? You you screwing the daughter, she's doing everything for you, but yet right around the corner, they don't have rice, they don't have soap, toothpaste, or nothing like that. All it would take for you is maybe $100 to solve all of that. I would tell a Filipina, and any Filipino watching this, if you get with a foreigner and he has a problem with you helping your family, or he has a problem helping your family, I would throw him back. He says, Beach of Life says, can you overstay if you just say that you got lost? No. See, ignorance is no excuse over here, because you have to understand you're going to, there's an immigration office somewhere around where you're living. He says, hey, Mr. Roach, come out and stop hiding under a stone. What are you talking about, Clayton? Yeah. You don't want to do this, guys. I promise you, don't do this. You don't want to do it. Doubtful Genius says, can a person overstay due to ill health, or were they railroad out of the country? Well, that's probably, like you said, you can overstay as long as you still have to pay the fees, but they may not deport you so long as you got a good reason. Ill health would be a good reason. Uh, Perry Hendrickson says, that's what I mean. Is it about the money? Why 2 weeks? Oh, you mean John? Oh, yeah. I would say. Because if he really had a heart attack, what are they waiting on? A heart attack is a 911 emergency. You don't wait around for 2 weeks and say, oh, let's see if we can get him stable. No, you see what's causing the uh, blockages and you get that done immediately. Um, to be honest with you. He says, my wife goes to different bars after midnight. She's looking for me. Well, that's one thing they'll do. They will try to henpeck you. And see, remember I told you that this is just my experience. The Filipina knows a whole lot more about you than you know about her because you're not really paying attention. She is. By the time you're here for 2 weeks, she knows everything about you. Okay? I remember when I went to Gale Force, his house, G5's house, we were just talking and so, and I had been over there for a couple of hours. Me and him, when you run into an American and you're tired of hearing, that Tagalog and Visayas makes your head hurt all day, and you hear American, man, it's like music to your ears. You just sit there and you talk all day. Well, next thing you know, now remember, he lives in a different subdivision. Don't you know that my girlfriend was outside that gate, knew exactly where he lived and everything? I was shocked. But yeah, that's how they are. Gilbert M says, I'm married to a peanut for 30 years. They do rely on her for help. So yes, but it's up to you how much you can. It's up to you. Yeah. It would be unthinking. I would say a person's unthinking if he didn't want to help the family or discourage her from helping. I don't get that. You come over here. I don't understand that thinking. This is different than in America where you're not supposed to get along with the in-laws and all that stuff. And everybody usually has a job over there. And if they don't have a job, there's plenty of jobs over there. They can easily just wake up in the morning and go get. It's not America. You come over here and like, guys thought I was playing the house. You've seen in the mountains where they live. A lot of Filipinos live like that. And you come over here and you see that. And then all of a sudden you take her out of the family, which she's probably the breadwinner. And then you turn your back on the family and say, no, y'all make it on your own, man. She ought to get rid of you. I mean, really, I wouldn't even deal with that. Yeah, Poopa, that's a great point. He said, don't be socially awkward going to the Philippines. As shy as you may be, they're going to be shyer. Bashful, they're going to be more bashful. Just be nice, man. Just be kind, man. I tell you, they're going to give it back to you 10 times. But don't come over here looking down on them and all of that. Don't do that, man. That'll be awkward. I mean, if you're allergic to seafood and they offer you something, say, I'm politely decline it. But, as far as thinking you're better than and all that, man, don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, you dirty puppy, says it. John Wells, good morning. I saw your daughter too. She was in Center Mall practicing one day last week. I knew it was her, but I don't know your real name. And if I did, I would have asked her because it was 3 gays and her, and she's walking, practicing in those high heel shoes. I knew it was her. Now, she's got a sister, right? Because this was the younger one, the one you said was 17. Now, the older ones, I think she dates Arthur, the engineer's son. She's like a celebrity too, from what he was telling me. He said she's got a lot of Instagram followers and TikTok followers because she's a beautiful woman, Road to the Philippines. Thanks for the super chat, Danny. Uh, he says, hey, Calvin, great to catch another one of your live streams. Thanks for letting me hang out on your pound the other day. Really appreciate you. Congrats on the 5 million views. Also get better soon, John. Thanks, Danny. And anytime you want to come back, let me know. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because I'm going to tell you something. You got a good channel. There's a lot of men who, can you put his link up here, Michael, Road to the Philippines, that are going to relate to you, because that's all it is. That's why John could have a successful YouTube channel. It's so many people that relate to John. He never knew it really, but he knows it now. And John is overwhelmed with the love that you guys are showing him. It's helping him. I said, John, if you didn't know how much people love and respect you, I said, you know now, man. Hey, Daryl Formore said Buffalo 21, New England 0. Yeah, New England's done. Now, if they come back and win, shoot me in the foot. He said they must have killed a pig near the others. There's nobody over there. I've never seen anybody over there. There was nobody over there. I guess they might have been fighting over a damn slop sandwich or something over there. I don't know what they were doing. Okay, John. He said, I think they finally got me stable. Yeah, I hope you got that email that I sent you from this guy. He got some good information for you, man. And I think you should listen to him. Clayton Mary says she would keep you up all night, but for the wrong reasons with her raucous carry on. That's deep province with ambition. Yeah, she's a steamroller. Yeah, man. Now, you talking about devoted. You talking about would do anything for me. This woman, somebody put up a figure one time. They said Filipinos watch Pornhub more than anybody else, and the women watch it even more. She would go on there to find out how to give better head. I mean, and she would watch it, man. I tell you, and she became real good at it. That's the type of woman she was, because she wasn't going to let anything stand in the way of her getting what she wanted. She's in America now, driving me crazy. You know. Hey, Xavier Baker, he said, what's good, huh? So I have my plane ticket set for mid-May to go back to Cebu to visit my son from Hawaii. You think with the new elections, there will be changes and whatnot to come down? It's hard to say. I do know that they're saying that things should be back to pre-Omicron numbers by March. And if that's the case, remember the Philippines was going to open. I'm just reading between the lines. I'm not telling you anything that I know for sure. The Philippines was set to open for certain countries. Supposed to have been December the 1st to the 15th, but then Omicron. Well, according to OCTA, by March, it's going to be, the numbers are going to be back to that pre-Omicron peak. So he said by March. So I'm thinking, I mean, the Philippines wants to open up. The good thing about Omicron is the hospitals, the few hospital stays. And if you do go there, let me give you some numbers. Your stay is short. Okay, here's some numbers. They said this Omicron, 98% of this 39,000 cases I told you, 98.3% is mild or asymptomatic. 267,185 are mild, 8,928 are asymptomatic, 2,925 are moderate, 1,472 is severe, and 303 is critical out of 30, out of all them cases up there. That's active right now in the Philippines. Only 300 is critical, unless you one of them 300. Edwin Vega says, Calvin, I'm headed to Tampola in Zamboanga area when things open up. So newbies, don't flash your money or jewelry or your monetary status, or the local mafia will kill you and sell you to Abusaya. Yeah, you don't want to do that anywhere, but yeah, um, I would keep a low profile anywhere I go, but especially when you in Mindanao. But I never had any problems in the Polo or the Peton. But you're right, don't do that. Um, and just use your due diligence, really. Um, don't go out to these local places after dark and all of that, and because they know where you are. I mean, it's just a society that gossips. The first day you get there, they're gonna know you're there. So you don't want to add to that with foolishness. Yeah, Jacob Johnson says, yeah, that's great news. Yeah, it is great news. Uh, I just hope everything is okay for the procedure. Hey, Charles, and you can get that done and get out of there. Hey, World Beat 107 L Film says, I like your show, bro, but I stepped my game up, Filipina, just to be easy for me. I get every Filipina I want. I have two you can have. I'm good. Money meaning if you want less or lazy or easy Filipinos. I can't understand what you're saying. He stepped up his game, so all the Filipinos are easy to him. Okay, you can have two if you want to. He says he's got good money, but a lot of the easy fruit, man, it's not lazy. Their motives are crystal clear. It's not a red flag is not for you to say, oh, I'm throwing them back immediately. A red flag is for to say, Bean, let me take my time and let me really get to know what's going on with this lady. But if you're desperate over there right now, you're going to be desperate when you get here, and they're going to get you because they're going to do whatever you want them to do. And that's a trap that a lot of us, it's hard to escape. Oh, man. No, I don't know anybody here, you dirty puppy. And I would never put her on my channel because it's too many thirsty. I mean, you've got two beautiful daughters. I mean, they're 10s. I'm not gonna say the one 17 to 10 because she's not an adult yet. But if you want to see his daughter, go on my video when they turn the key over to us. That's his daughter giving the key to my girlfriend. She's really nice. She's a 10. Yeah, put his link up there. Because a lot of guys, the more the more videos you make, Danny, the more people are going to slowly gravitate to your channel. If I was just made one video a month, y'all guys wouldn't be here right now. Every video I make, I'm practicing to be better for the next one. He says the Sunshine Shows, my daughter has one video with almost 6 million views. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I can see why. I rode my bike through there and they were doing the practice and I'm saying, yeah, this is you dirty puppy's daughter. But I met your other daughter and hell, all she'd have to do is do one of them shorts like some of these women do. You've seen them. They do a YouTube short. One lady got 44 million views. She's had some type of wrapping paper on. She takes the wrapping paper off and he's showing some under boob. That's it. And she's got 44 million views. I'm like, man, these people are really thirsty. And she said, trust me, hey, DeMario Laws, thanks for that super sticker. I mean, so yeah, I can see why, you dirty puppy. And then, they got the gays teaching her what to do because they know how to walk in them damn things. Okay, John Gomez said it sounded like a pig fighting for his or her life loud. See, I heard it, but I think you're from the DR, right, John? So you kind of know the levels of pig sounds and stuff like that. I don't, even though I'm from Kentucky, we don't have a whole lot of pigs there. I just felt, hell, it's a damn pig squealing. I didn't know if, I've heard them when they get ready to cut them up for these lechons. You talking about, I can't watch it. I mean, it's just a blood curdling scream. It really gets to me. Kurt Swartz said, my wife's family has way more money than I will ever have available. They were super helpful when we first got married and didn't have a lot of resources. Yeah. And you run into that from time to time. I just think that it would be unthinking for somebody coming from the West to turn his back on the Filipinos family because they're prideful, man. And we were talking about that last night. Rock said his ex-wife really wants him back, but her pride won't allow it. So she's been through 5 guys looking for another Rock. And I know he's telling the truth because that's how my ex is. She wants to come back, but she would never come back because her pride won't allow her to come back. He didn't say that. He said a lot of more nitty-gritty stuff, but he hit it on the nose. Robert Dame says, what's the name of that video, you dirty puppy? Mr. Vega says, the road to the Philippines just said his video was having to give up your nice car. See, Danny's a nurse. Now, I was just reading in the paper here, and it's all on the news. There's 100,000 work visas pending right now for nurses in the Philippines going to the United States. I thought that was amazing. And I said to myself, if guys are just listening to what I'm saying, when I was talking about, not every Filipina is on land looking for a way to America. Some women become nurses, teachers, seamen. They earn their own way over there. But the women you see online, it's their last hope. They've tried everything else. And they make it easy for you. And that's something that you need to be careful about when you see a young, beautiful woman like that, and it's so easy. Okay? And look, guys, I got this up here. If one more person asks me, what's the Filipina P? I'm going to retire. There's no reason for me to do another video. It's not the YouTuber I'm talking about, guys. I think y'all know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Filipina P. It's the original Filipina P. Not her. I would never do a video on another vlogger. Come on. I've got a lot more imagination than that. But guys are really serious about that. They said I'm talking, he said my last video was cryptic. Cryptic? You know what the damn Filipino P is. If you don't, you need to get off the line. You couldn't be that stupid. People are crazy. He said, oh man, I don't know why you, I love the Filipino P. I don't know why you talking about it. I'm like, man, you need to watch that video again. Yeah, that's right. If you're going over here just to have a good time, why not? Why waste your time? But are you really wasting your time? Trying to, pick up somebody on the street. But if you're trying to get married, you want a lifetime partner, and you're concerned that these women over here, you got a problem with it, that they want you initially for your finances, then you need to get off the line because every single one of them is telling you with flashing red lights that they want you financially. Hey, Jeffrey Hood, thanks for that super chat. He said, Calvin, where would you go in the PI since the aftermath of Odette? The vow, etc., 60 days off to explore and have a good time. Oh, it's a lot of places that did not get hit by Odette, but the vow is a good place. It's expat alley. It's a lot of expats in the vow. They've got major hospitals. They've got a lot of nice beaches and stuff. A lot of things to do in the vow, but really, I'd go to Sikihor. Rock and his wife went to Sikihor. He said you need to bring sand to the beach, meaning it's nobody there. Make sure you bring your woman with you. But I told him I like it like that. That's why I love Sikihor Island. It's a beautiful place and there's nobody there, even pre-pandemic. But so many places, Jeffrey. You could go to Sikihor Island. You could go to Davao. You could go down, General Santos, Glen, where they wasn't hit by Odette. Or you go up to Luzon, Angeles City, Subic Bay. Don't forget about Subic Bay, man. It's still up there. Demario Law says, you say they'll know I'm there, low profile. It seems hard to maintain or to just chill and blend in. Well, when I say they're going to know you there, they're going to know because she's going to tell everybody anyway. Yeah, DeMario's coming. He'll be here. And I'm going to Cebu to meet him. And the minute that you get off the bus or in her hometown or the airport, somebody's going to see you. But what I'm saying is you're going to have enough attention. You don't need any more attention. You got some big, 30 millimeter solid gold rope around your neck. You pull out a big stack of thousands, to pay the tricycle driver. You don't want to do stupid stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about, low profile. As a foreigner, you're going to attract so much attention anyway. You don't want to add to that because people do it. I remember a lady, she poured out money, a 500 peso bill to pay a pedicab driver. Now, pedicab, it costs 7 pesos, by the way. He may make 100 pesos the whole day if he's lucky. And she pulls out a 500 peso bill to pay him. See, you don't want to do stupid stuff like that, but she didn't know any better. Jersey, say taxes. Here in the U.S., Omicron, no matter what you do, will eventually get you. Better vaccinate and vitamin D3, zinc, help one out if you get it. You're exactly right. That's what I'm trying to tell my girlfriend. You can't escape it. It's going to get you. I've had it. You've had it. Even though you said you didn't have it, you had it. And now you see the symptoms all in your family. Luckily, they're mild and asymptomatic. But they got it. Roy Jones says John says, Roy Jones, the morphine does make you feel good. How is that hospital there, John? I mean, as far as, is it modern? Is it comfortable? I mean, why are they waiting so long? Because you said you had a heart attack before. Did they wait weeks before treating you like they're doing now? The guy made a lot of sense. He was like, well, hell, if John had a heart attack, why aren't they treating him? And I'm asking the same thing. He said, shoot, I'll show some underboob for 40 million views. Yeah, that's a lot of money right there for her. Hey, somebody get this Mac 2 off of here. He's a troll. This guy right here. Get rid of him, Beach of Life. Maktua. Poop, I said, would you recommend men going their way trying to vet in the Philippines? Are you, some of the men going their own way, they're very extreme, meaning they wrote off women altogether. But if you coming over here and you say, well, we go out on a date, you're going to pay for your own meal and I'm going to pay for my own meal, that's not going to work over here. So I don't really know if that's going to work. To be honest with you, if that men going their way. I'm late to this men going their own way. I didn't hear about it until I started my channel. And it was deep in my channel that I started hearing about men going their own way. I just don't know enough about it. Okay, John says, Doug Carr, hey, Doug, they moved me to another hospital. It's much better here, on par with hospitals in the U.S. Yeah, that sounds good because the guy said, he said, for what you're dealing with, John, you should be in Cebu, he said. He says you should be in Changhua Hospital. So let's just hope and pray that you get it over with and get back to normal. How's your strength, John? I know you keep saying you feel better, but are you just lying prone? Are you able to get up? And I don't know. What's your strength right now? Percy Ramsey says, a nice smile and kind words can be deceiving. If you're window shopping online, every woman calls you handsome, but it all designed to get you over there and hit you up with that tune-up. Yeah, and he's exactly right. Remember, the Beach of Life said there's only a few things that women are really interested in. Is who are you chatting with, and are you coming over here for real? Who else you're chatting with, and are you really coming over here for real? He says, if you want to hear a real terrible sound, listen to a lion putting a wall hawk out of the ground. Oh, my God. I think I'll pass on that. It's never going to play out. And by the way, God created pussy, man, okay? He said, guys coming to the Philippines for pussy, that's going to play out. Get God first. Then you get a wife for your dreams from anywhere. Well, God put that inside of us. That's innate. There's nothing wrong with sex. No. Maurice Holmes says, my Filipino girlfriend said it's hot one day, next day it's cool. What's the weather like where you live, Cal? 75 or 8, between 75 and 80 in the Philippines is cool to Filipinos. But it's like every day is like summer over here. The average temperature is like 82 degrees. You may get a cold spell where it's 75 or something like that and breezy, but more than likely it's somewhere around 80 degrees or higher. So no, it doesn't vary like that. That sun is going to come out, and I'm glad you brought that up because the guy asked me to talk about skin care. And he says, should he wear long sleeve shirts? That's going too far, but SPF, have some good SPF from over in the States. Because if you come over here, it's going to cost a lot of money. It's very expensive. I'm talking about if you get just say, for instance, something like this. This is lotion, though. Boobies lotion, Aveeno. Just say something this size of good SPF over here. It's going to cost you almost $15. Bring a ball cap if you want to keep the sun out of your eyes. Lightweight clothing and in light colors. Because you want something that's going to reflect the sun, not absorb it. That would be some things that I would say. Um, but you definitely need SPF. I don't care if you purple, black, or bright white. The sun over here takes no prisoners. It's rapacious, and it's gonna burn you alive if you out there the wrong time of day and you ain't out there long enough. I remember when we went to Brazil. I was in the Navy. We went to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, um, and we had a orientation about the country. And they said, "Hey, don't get drunk and go to sleep on the beach. You're gonna regret it." Of course, we don't listen. Uh, and this is the first time I ever seen that. Where I mean, blisters. Guys had real blisters on their backs. It was crazy, man. John says 87. Anything less than 87 degrees is cold. He's right. Yeah, I wouldn't take her word for it to say it's cool. It would be crazy. It's crazy over here. Retired 2019 said Calvin, the average guy on your channel has very little experience with women. I wouldn't say that. I would say he has very little experience with young women, unless it's their daughters or something like that, their granddaughters. But a love interest, yeah, I would say they really don't know. It's like they're dreaming. It's like they're beside themselves. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? Is she really into me? They really don't know. It's like, what did I do to deserve this sort of thing? Oscar says, hey, Calvin, you should have said the Filipino nut. I think people would understand better, but what you were trying to say. I don't understand why. Filipino P, the Filipino pussy, man. Come on, guys. Don't do that to me. Y'all really make me, I'm embarrassed for you. Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Uh, a guy wrote me. He said, look, he said a certain vlogger, he says it's a coincidence. It seems like every time you make a video about something, they will make a video out of something. And, because he said when you went up in the mountains and you talk about rebuilding those houses. Now this vlogger has a video where they're rebuilding houses. And, and I was like, well, okay, I'm going to do a play on words and talk about something without actually saying that word. So I said a Filipino P and the Temple of Doom. I call it the Temple of Doom because men chase it to the gates of insanity and even death, man. They do. And some guy says, oh, it's like that everywhere. It's not, man. You got to understand, no one comes as far as the Philippines for that. If you're in America, okay, Brazil is what, 8 hours away? The DR is even less. Mexico's even less. The Philippines, man, is on the other side of the planet. It's not the same. Y'all keep saying that. It's not, man. Why would you come all the way over here? There's a mystique about Filipino women. If you don't know that by now, where have you been hiding? In a cave somewhere? Yeah, I don't understand it, really. But because they don't have a life of their own. If you're a grown man and you want to come over here and change your life and do something else, whose business is it? But we should be at that age. Most of my viewers are 45 and over. You should already be at that age where you didn't give a damn what people think. We live for people for so long, man. Now it's time to live for ourselves. You think I care about what people are saying about me? Oh, he's over there taking advantage of women. And, oh, you over there because you can't make it in America. All that stupid stuff that they say about us when we come over here. Who cares about that stuff? You're going to be dead a long time. Nobody care about that. Nobody care what you say. He says, but Calvin, I want to look like a baller. Well, you putting your life in your hands doing that. Yeah, come on, guys. Stop worrying about what other people uh, think about you. It's time for you to uh, do the things you want to do. It's like you're not going to live to be 1,000, believe it or not. He says, Calvin, I found my dream girl already, just waiting for things to open. He said, my first trip to the field was in 2007. Now, how do you know that's your dream girl? Have you met her before and everything, and y'all consummated and all of that? Because remember, take the taste, touch, and smell test. Um, that's real, guys. That's real. Um, because a lot of the women that you're going to meet, just because they do things different doesn't make them inferior. But a lot of them, they don't douche. They use something else, but it's a lot of things that they do that's going to be different than what you're used to. If I could do it all over again, which obviously I can't do it all over again. I tell you, man, I just wouldn't have committed online. That's one thing that we do. We commit online. And I don't think you have to. He says, glad to hear you in a better hospital, John. Hang in there and hope you're better soon. Yeah, he says, I'm coming for real. Okay, Rudy says, how's it? Long time no see. Okay, a war hog. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that if the man is okay with that. My problem is we fool ourselves. We deceive ourselves. What's the definition of that? Elude. We trick ourselves into thinking it's something other than that. But it's not. But who cares if you're happy? But don't lie to yourself. Why would a beautiful woman like that? Because when you go over, you're gonna see some of these women. You're gonna be like, wow. Who cares why she's with you? If it's what you want, if you're happy, what difference does it make? That's what I say. We're too much worried about what everybody else thinks. And you're right, a 60-year-old man. Because usually what you see is somewhere in between 50 and 60, not much older than that. If there's, a lot of guys over here, when you see them, and they're in really good shape. I don't know why, but that's one thing that we seem to have in common. Now, I'm not painting a brush. You got to realize I play tennis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with 3 other expats. One is well in his 70s. He might be the best tennis player of us all. And the other 2, I would say, one is probably in his early 60s. The other one's probably somewhere around my age. But you really don't see the 80-year-old man with the 20-year-old. If you do see the 80-year-old guy, he's been here for 30 years probably. Yeah. And if you're going to pay for it, just be happy, guys. Don't come over here and just settle for the low-lying fruit. Give yourself some credit. I mean, you do have half a brain. You are a decent, respectable human being. But if you think just having a 20-year-old is that's enough, then okay. Who am I to tell you what turns you on? But just don't be under the delusion. And they push back at me when I say it like this is new news or something. It's not new news. Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a perfect example of why I don't do it. Because it's just boring to me really, really quick. And sitting there answering all those questions, I mean, because she's going to be throwing question out there. all the time. I mean, it's just cringy personal questions that you're saying, look, lady, I just met you online. It's none of your, if you say it's none of your business, you're going to hurt her feelings. But yeah, they ask you all them questions, and it's just too much for me, man. But a lot of guys, you're right about this, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for that guarantee, Michael. He said, you won't get any guarantees online. That happens in real time. She's only interested in three things. Who else are you chatting with? Are you coming, and when? And he's exactly right about this. But once you get here and you see how easy it is, you got to ask yourself, why is it so easy? You'll start thinking, well, that's because all Filipinos are easy, which is what we think. But it's not true. They're not easy, man. Ask the Filipino man, is a Filipino easy? And he'll tell you. Jay says, hey, John, we're still praying for you and hope you're home very soon. Yeah, man, I feel for John. He told me don't feel sorry for him, but hell, these are my feelings, John. You can't tell me what to feel. He says he lived a good life, and, if he went today, he would be happy. Yeah, but who wants to go at 61, man? My father was 61, and he was pissed off. His last month of his life, he was as angry as I've ever seen him because he knew he still had a lot of life to live. Because I asked my mother, I said, why is Daddy so angry? She said, because he knows he's going to die. He said, and people get like that when they know they're going to die. Okay, here's that link. The 1 week rule. You're not going to learn any more in 6 months than you will a week. You're not going to learn any more, guys. But some of you guys, you say you're lonely and all of that, man, but you're going to back yourself into a corner. You're going to get yourself in a trap. You can't sit there and talk with somebody 6 months, a year, and not have some type of emotional connection. And then that's when they hit you. You start looking at how they're living, and you feel obligated. I've got to save her. I've got to go in and save the day. Brian Bell says, does anyone know how much a lot costs to lease? It's all over the place, Brian. That's that's a question that nobody can really answer. There's so many variables behind that. Is it in a province? Is it in the city? Is it in the city proper, municipality? Is it by the road? Is it by the beach? It's just too hard to say. But you can, if you just say that it's going to be affordable for you. If I can rent a 2-bedroom house for $170 a month, surely you can rent that same lot that it's on for probably the same or less. Okay, Demario Law says, I'm only here to learn how to conduct myself when I get there properly. And when I do get there, I plan on checking in. Yeah. This is a good question. I would just say keep a low profile. Don't look down on people. You're going to be, Filipino stare, and you're going to stare too. Wear your nice pair of sunglasses, especially when you go to the mall or to the beach or to the marketplace or something like that. You're going to stare for the same reasons they're going to stare. But I would just say, just act like a decent human being the same way that you act at home, and you're going to be okay. Caveman C says, well said, Cal. The UV rays, whether it is sunny or cloudy, will kill you. Look at the app for in your area for UV warning, your area, which tells you the UV level. Anything over 3, it will kill you. Yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up because I forgot to mention sunglasses on here. Make sure you get you a good pair of sunglasses. Don't be cheap on sunscreen, sunglasses, and shoes over here when you come to the Philippines. It's going to expose you. I paid the police shades I've got. I paid $120 for them here. They're really, really good. I mean, I can tell the difference. Like right now, see, y'all don't see, but in front of me is my window. And man, my eyes from that sun, the glare, it affects you, man. You put on them nice shades, it's like night and day. You're going to need that anyway. And then especially if you out in the mall, out and about with your girl, you're going to need them because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be looking. There's nothing wrong with looking. Yeah, and I think this gets us in a lot of trouble too, Poopeye. John said it was a guy that came to the village where Janessa lives and acted like he was just too good to be there. And he had a terrible time and he hasn't been back. I wouldn't do that. Hey, Nigerian Warrior says, hello, Mr. Roach. My online Filipino and I are talking about starting a family of 4 kids. I work as a contractor in the U.S. and am only able to stay in the Philippines for 4 months. And I have been, advised not to bring her back to Maryland. Well, see, people get the wrong impression of my video when I say don't bring your Filipino girlfriend home. I'm not saying literally don't do it. I'm just saying the risk you run when you bring her back. Because obviously you see a lot of success stories over that. But it sounds like to me you're making a big mistake with that. Don't make commitments online, man. I wouldn't do it. You don't really know what you got until you get here, man. And remember, the promises you're making, she don't forget. She's going to remember every promise you make. And you're not going to be able to get away from her when you come over here. And if you do, you got to leave the island, shut your Facebook down, shut everything down, and start over. But I'm just going to be honest with you, man. Don't make the commitment online, man. You don't know who you're dealing with. That's a fact. Okay, Ed, when you met her and her family already, well, see, you're a different story, though. But hopefully you met her more than once, and hopefully it was more than 2 weeks. You know, it's too much at stake here, guys. Why are we in such a hurry to marry them? They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. And if you're a good guy, Filipinos are smart. Remember, they're approachable, they're nice, they're friendly, and they're smart. She's not going to let you go. She's not going to fool around. She's going to wait as long as it takes. But if you're in a hurry, man, you're going to be in trouble, man. The best of us have to roll around in the dirt 3 or 4 times before we finally find a compatible woman here that we can, live with and deal with. It's just how it is. I don't know why. You see Cliff and Rue. You see how well they get along. That's not his first rodeo. You see Frank and Lilibet, and Frank's a sharp cookie, man. It's not his first rodeo. John, me, Cal Deadman, the list goes on and on and on. We've got good women now, but, we had to bite the bullet, man, so many times because it's a lot behind that pretty face, man, and that pretty smile. And then when you get over here, she's going to have habits that you ain't going to be able to stand. Hey, look, if you're going to smack your food at the table, I don't care how good you look. I can't deal with that. If you're going to dig in your nose, I'm not saying that they do that. I'm saying, but you won't know the habits. How you going to know you're online? She's at her best when she's online. You get over here, she's going to do stuff like that, man. You're not going to want to deal with that. You might go in the bathroom and there is a bloody Kotex in the damn garbage, not even trying to roll it up and so you can't see that kind of stuff. Man, you guys, look, listen to me when it comes to this commitment, man. Don't commit online and don't commit after 2 weeks and you met her one time. it's just far too much that you have to learn about each other. Eric Brown said, Calvin, most older men want a younger woman because he won't be attracted to young women in the U.S. But see, Eric, even though there's some truth to this, this is the same argument that, oh, the only reason you come over here because you're a loser. Or you can't make it in your own country and all of that. No, he's coming over here because he has an opportunity to live out his dream. It may only be a fantasy in America, but over here it can be reality. And we didn't make the rules, Eric. We didn't make the rules. And who's to say that the women in your home country are the standard? This is the problem I have with America. We're only 4% of the population, but we think it's all about us. We control 100% of the narrative. If you don't think the way Americans think, you're wrong. If you don't enjoy the same entertainment we do, you're wrong. We're 4% of the Earth's population, man. And we think that you're not with an American woman, you don't have nothing. And that's not true. That comes from us being in that bubble. Very few of us ever come out of that bubble, man. Less than 5% of Americans took a trip overseas. Now, I'm not talking about Jamaica, the DR, and all of that. I'm talking about overseas. Europe, Africa, Asia, Southeast Asia, and all that type of stuff. Cringe is just mean embarrassing, Michael. You know how you feel embarrassed for somebody. We were coming from, it was either, we were coming from Bohol to Cebu. And it was a European guy. I guess he was European by the way he dressed and the way he talked. I don't know if he was Australian or European, but anyway, he was with two young girls. I mean, they were really super young. And were they 18? I don't know because, it's hard to tell 16 from 18, but these girls were young, man. And I just felt embarrassed for him. But he didn't seem to care. And I was in SM Mall one time, and it was a guy, I guess he maybe in his early 30s. I know the girl he was with had been no more than about 15. She was with her mother and the brother. And I mean, she was just a little bitty thing, man. And I just felt embarrassed for him, but he was in love and they were just so focused on each other. But make sure the woman you come over to see is 18, by the way. Yeah, New England could stick a fork in it, to be honest with you. Hey, thumbs up, guys. Yeah, that's usually what happens, Jason. For some reason, we want to be this hero, and a lot of the women think you got more money than you have anyway. But if you leave with your wallet and you're always talking about money and all of that, she's going to feel bad because she doesn't have money. And it's going to make her feel like you're looking down on her and her family and her culture. So that way, be humble. And a lot of the things we buy them, they don't even want. We do it for ourselves. We think that we're making her happy, but really we're not. My girlfriend, the motorcycle that she gave her brother, the one that she actually went out and put a down payment on herself from her hard work, even though it wasn't paid for. And I stepped in and said, oh, we need a nicer motorcycle. She liked that motorcycle than the fancy one I bought her. See, I did that for me. I didn't do that for her. She's more impressed that I'm able to get along with her family and respect them and respect where she comes from. She's more impressed with that. And I learned that a long time ago from my son's mother. When she told me, she said, Calvin, you're the first foreigner that's ever come up in these mountains. That's why people are looking at you. I mean, the first time we went up there, people actually stopped, the farmers and stuff. They actually stopped what they were doing and watched me walk up that hill. Yeah, this is true. I was saying this the other day. He said, now for the real reason all men want to live there. He said, does a man want to see a 60-year-old woman in his bed, a woman in her 20s or 30s? There you go. Have a nice day. Yeah, it's so much truth in this because women mature faster than men, guys. That's true. Physically and mentally. Look it up. I'm not a doctor. I didn't make this up. So a woman 58, I'm 58, man, she's older than me. I don't want a 58-year-old woman unless she's the exception to the rule, because we've got something called testosterone, guys. It helps our skin and everything like that. It helps us to look younger than them. And then, you know, physically they start, you know, you think the midlife crisis for a man, but what about when a woman, when it starts hurting down there? And, even the best creams can't help. You don't want that. Hey, thanks, Nigerian Warrior. Said, guys, please smash the like and subscribe button. Mr. Roach dropping jewels. We just like to talk on here, Nigerian Warrior. But you're right. If 300 people is watching and it's only 100 and something likes, I mean, the last time I checked, likes are free. Carlos Gonzalez said, Sir Calvin, thank you for your all good attitude to the all Filipinos here in the Philippines. Thank you, Carlos. But that's how I was raised. And I don't see, but be honest with you, man, when I see, and this is just me and how I was growing up, this is just my experience. I'm not saying this is to be true. When I came to the Philippines, it reminded me of how I grew up as a black man in America. A lot of the things that they do, we did. I saw in my community. They'll stop in the middle of the damn street and be talking, and you got to take your car and go around them. They do stuff like that. It's so much that I see over here. When I was growing up, we didn't throw away anything, man. We would make something out of nothing. And I see that over here. It's just so much. I mean, I don't see myself as being better than them. Really. The reason I'm over here is because of the similarities, man. It's so much I've got in common with Filipinos, man. The only difference is the Filipino than the black, in my opinion. Filipino, he has his own land. He has his own language, his own culture, traditions, and all of that, whereas I don't. And I'm kind of jealous of that, really. Money can't buy that. Nelson 007 says, I married a Filipino after meeting online. We're both mid-40s because I didn't want to deal with the big age gap stuff. Yeah, and that's a good thing, man. It just depends on what you want, really. Because sometimes the age gap can catch up with you. That's really what happened to me, man. With me and my wife still in love when we split up, absolutely, we loved each other. I didn't want a divorce. I didn't want to separate, but our lives were going in separate directions. I was 55. She was 2018. She was born in 85. She was 33. I was ready to settle down. She was just getting started. And I didn't want to get in her way. I wasn't going to stop her. See, and when I knew she had made up in her mind to go home, I knew it was over, man. Even though we still loved each other, I knew it was over. That plan was not going to work from the beginning. There's no way I'm going to be separated from my wife 6 months out of the year. That was a broken plan. The minute she conceived it, it wasn't going to work. Hey, Ed from Queens, thanks for that super chat. Said, Calvin, love your chats. I miss Moonshine. All my love to you guys. Yeah. Oh, man, when he gets back, man, he's going to have a story to tell. I'm going to say that when John gets back, and he's healthy enough, and we have our first Sunshine and Moonshine Shoulders Happy Hour, I'm going to say we're going to go over 500 people watching. We're going to break a record. I think the record stands at like 400. I had 400 one time on one of my live streams. And I think we're going to break the 500 because people are really going to, they're going to miss John, but they want to see, is he okay? And how did the heart attack affect him? You know, because people, you know, that's just how we are. We're curious like that. No, I'm not saying that, Christopher Wolfgang. He said, so a 19-year-old woman is as mature as a 45-year-old man. No, but she's more mature than a 19-year-old man. I guarantee you that. Okay? In any country. I guarantee you that. And if you don't believe me, man, when I was 16, it's a wonder, the love of my life, my first love, we were 16, she was 15. We didn't stay together long because she was older than me. Next thing you know, she was with a guy 21 who had a nice car, jewelry, and all of that. See, don't fool yourself. Women mature a lot faster than men. But at some point, men, we enjoy that. You know, we come out the winners as we get older if you take care of yourself. So that's why me and Marilyn get along so well. She's 39. I'm 58. Would a 38-year-old American get along with Marilyn? No. A 38-year-old man? No. Under no circumstances. Because he's not through. He's still roving around. He's much younger than she is, especially over here. And Javon Smith says, no, you teach a younger like a pot of clay made to be sculpted. The last time me and Marilyn were in Cebu, we were staying at Mavisa Gardens, the condominium community. I tell you guys, I suggest to you guys, I don't get paid for bringing this up. Look it up on Airbnb and you'll see. Well, anyway, we're sitting there, we're waiting on the taxi, we're out front. And here's this brother, it's a black guy from America, and he's like 62. And you know, me and him talking, we got a good conversation, and he was saying that, yeah, me and my Filipino, we travel all around the world together. We can go everywhere but America. She can't get in America. And I said, well, where is she? And she was over there in the lobby on her phone. I said, well, how old? She was 23. But she, you know, they got along well. And something like that is not going to get a second look over here. Now, with somebody that's 18 and they look really, really young like that, will you get that second look? Yeah, because you'll see it in the malls. But who cares? I mean, if they're consenting adults, women, who cares what people think? He says, old school Chicano 74 says, my Filipino wife is 35 and she still looks like in her early 20s. Yeah. And that's what you're going to see. They're not going to start aging. Well, now that she's in America, if she's in America or wherever you are, that she's going to slow down her aging. But over here, the sun speeds up your aging over here. He said, helping others helps yourself and you will be blessed. I was talking to Daryl Fulmore. His wife is sick, and he said, man, you know, a family, nobody's even caring about it. They haven't even asked how she's doing. And I said, well, you know, there are a lot of people, you know, over here, it's a culture of, you know, it's like every man for himself. It's about survival. Not all of them, you know, but I said, you ought to know better. You've got experience over here. I said, a lot of people over here, they don't practice that principle of helping other people. They don't believe that, you know, when you help other people, you help yourself. So they're only concerned about themselves. Not everybody, don't get me wrong, because they're some of the most generous, giving people Filipinos are on the planet. Hey, Ed from Queens, thanks for the super chat. He said, no ethnic group has had a bigger impact on American culture than African American. Sports, music, food, dress, slang, dance, TV, on and on and on. Yeah, you're right. And I was bringing that up about we've kind of like created our own culture over there within a culture. Um, but we don't have our own language. Even though Filipinos, they practice Catholicism, they've got their own version of Catholicism that's mixed in with a lot of their traditions and everything over here. You know, they've got their own land. Even though, people come over here, you got to respect somebody who has their own language. See, that's powerful, man. When you have your own language. See, that was one thing the slave master had to do. He had to separate us from our language. Otherwise, we could plot behind the scenes. He would never know what we're doing. So that was one of the first things that they did. And all of that stuff, man. So when you come over and you see Filipinos, they waited out the Spanish 350 years or something like that. They waited the Americans out, man, 50 years, man. This is a strong society over here. Money's not the whole story, guys, and that's what, if you look at things like I do, it's going to impress you when you get over here. There's just some things that money can't buy. And character's one of them. Eric Brown said, Calvin, what about young men, older women? Well, it's a big deal. It's a big thing over in America, but over here, same way. But the woman usually, she's paying. It's a pay for play thing. And, that's what that's about. When I was in Zamboanga, I was staying at let me see. I'm trying to think of the name of this hotel. I'm going to let it go and it'll come back to me. But we're staying in the hotel, and it's at night. I just happened to look up, open the window, and I see on the street corner, it's a bunch of young men. And I asked my wife, I said, what are they doing out here? Are they selling drugs? She said, no. They're waiting for gay men to come by and pick them up. It's a hustle, too, You got these young, good-looking men over here. You're living, it's all about survival over here. And they do the same thing that a lot of these young, good-looking women do over here. But my last landlord, not where John lives, but the one before that, she was 46. Her boyfriend was 17. But she had a little money because she had separated from her foreign husband. But you very seldom see that over here. You very seldom see a younger foreigner come over here and for an older woman, but it happens, of course. Mike said, I date a woman older than me. Well, the very first Filipino women that I met over here, one was 38 and one was 41. Because I didn't know any better. I didn't know it was okay. I told you, I just got on a plane and came over here. I brought all my thinking with me. I had no idea it was okay for me to date younger women. Or if I could even do it. Would they even be interested in me? The 41-year-old woman told me it was. But she was the most beautiful woman probably that I've been with. Well, up until I met my son's mother. And she was 41. I mean, she was gorgeous, man. She was vain because Filipinos are vain. And you're going to notice that when you go over there. Always looking in the mirror. They want to be perfect. That's why when you go on Facebook, anywhere where they got these filters, they use the filter 100%, man. They don't want you to see any flaw that they got. And, because I told my girlfriend, she was looking at my eye bags today. I said, look, I earned these eye bags. I'm not perfect. I'm proud of my eye bags. Hell. If I didn't have them, then you should be worried. But yeah, they're very vain. But some of these older women over here, man, they're beautiful in their 40s, man. No, I don't say it is. That's because of your culture has made you look down upon that. A 19-year-old anywhere in the world is a consenting adult, Christoph, or Wolfgang. And no matter what we think about it, it's none of our business. What two consenting adults agree on is nobody's business. And it may be, I don't know why you would say there's anything wrong with that. It's not. I don't see anything wrong with it. As long as they're of age. Yeah. He says, I'm 65 and I'm not looking for a woman to sit on the porch with and gossip about the neighbors. I want a woman who wants to go to bed and still enjoys it. Yeah. And that's what it is. See, women my age, they're old, man. I mean, some of the women I went to high school with, oh my God, they're old. They're really grandmothers, man. I'm not ready for the rocking chair and the AARP membership and all of that. I'm not ready for that, man. The ballroom dancing and all that stuff, man. I'm still going to the disco when I go. I'm not with all that stuff, man. You know, if I don't want a woman that I got to buy diapers, that's wearing diapers. I don't want that. And I don't care if you mad at me about that or not. I'm sorry. Ray B. John Wells said Ray BOB1. That's the plan. The doctor won't know until he gets in there. Okay. I think he asked John, was he going to get a stent? That's usually what they're doing now. Right, John? Yeah. Robert, this is what I always ask people, and they seem to ignore me when I say, when's the last time you saw your doctor or primary care provider? It's very, very important, man. If you don't think so, look at my video, Filipinas are widow makers. It's true, man. You may think you feel okay until you don't. And you come over here, they're going to put you to the test. They're going to put you to the test. Yeah, language is culture, man. You know, and see, that's one of the things that they separated the African slave from his language, his religion, his culture, everything. He says, how long you been playing tennis? I started playing tennis when I was 50 years old. Papai Tabai Yo Young, but Taba Yo Young. But I don't, you know, when I'm in America, I don't play that much because, you know, the weather and just the opportunity. People don't, if I go to like Shawnee Park, where they got the nice clay courts, if they're better than you, and this is really anywhere, really, it's not like basketball where you got 5 against 5 and the best 5 win. In tennis, they don't want to play you unless you're on their level or better. And that's one of the things that stopped me from playing as much. Now here, because I've got some guys, we're all in that same Class C group. We're about the same in ability. We play every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I've gotten a lot better, especially and then I take some lessons too for my fundamentals. I've got my backhand has gotten so much better, but you know, somebody would beat me up one side and down the other, but this is what I do it for right here. He said, Calvin, exercise is the key. And you know, Popeye, that tennis is great exercise. No, you said just kidding. Yeah, I know you're just kidding because when I was growing up, I thought tennis players were wimps. Man, they some of the best athletes on the planet. You try to get out there and do that, chase that ball for 3, 4, 5 hours. Yeah, it's very popular in the Philippines, but it's different. In Louisville, Kentucky, you can go there right now, and this is what amazed my wife. I'm talking about brand new courts, clay courts and just regular courts. They sit empty. Nobody plays. But over here, it's the opposite. So many people want to play, but there's not enough courts. Damn it, what's the name of that park? It's on 4th Street in Louisville, Kentucky. They've got 10 courts side by side, 10 brand new tennis courts. And you're never going to see all of them occupied. If they had something like that here in St. Carlos City or anywhere in the Philippines, man, them courts would be occupied. But it's very popular. They just don't have the courts. Ed from Queens, thanks for the super chat, said the greatest American lawman was Bass Reeves, a former slave. He arrested over 3,000 outlaws. We know him as the Lone Ranger who wore a black mask. Now, that's news to me. I didn't know that. What is he saying? He said, no, you don't have to. It just seems like you're jumping on this bandwagon like it was true or something. Well, what are you talking about? Clayton Mary says, to lose belly fat, cut sugar and carbs, intermittent fast, exercise daily, keep it up. Easy to say, hard to do in a culture of excess. Yeah, it's hard to do. It's a hard habit to break. Sugar is addicting, man. It's any drug, it's any alcohol. If you don't believe me, try cutting out sugar from your diet, and you'll see how hard it is. I mean, it was one of the hardest things. I did it one time in St. Carlos City for 30 days, man. I tell you, on the 31st day, man, I was eating sugar like crazy. I was denying myself instead of trying to make it a part of my lifestyle. Otherwise, I could have kept going. But I was just denying myself on that 31st day. And I lost a lot of weight, man. My wrists, see, when I had my bike accident, my wrists are just now getting to the point where I can do push-ups. I don't know if I can do them. I'm going to try them again today. And so I haven't been able to do my normal routine that I do because push-ups is a big part of that. But yeah, intermittent fasting, that's not hard to do. I'm doing that right now. It's 11:44. See, I haven't had anything to eat. And as long as I'm busy, riding my bike on a live stream, exercising, something like that, you can go to 12 o'clock. I can go to 12 o'clock without eating anything. He says, I feel bad for Bill Belichick. Not. Eric Branson, Calvin, have you been to the Marco Polo Hotel? No. I've been back so many times, but I never stayed in there. It was the only 5-star. It was a 5-star at the time. Was the Hilton that I stayed in. It was in Moncton, but it's not the Hilton now. It's these two big, I think they're still pink buildings now, but they might have changed them. I've never stayed in the Shangri-La either. I did stay in the Henan resort in Boracay. That was almost a 5-star. I'm going to say a 4-star. But probably did. I haven't been around, that Marco Polo, that's in that area that I go to all the time, over by IT Park. Yes, it's Shangri-La is the bomb. Now, when I first started coming here in 2009, it was like 10,000 a night then. But see, you don't have to stay in those places like that unless you just got stupid money or you're on here on some type of business and they're going to pay for it and reimburse you, because you can get a 2 or 3-star hotel here that's just as nice. I mean, the Mahawani Hotel here for $2,200 a night is nice, man. Or that hotel I stayed in Bacolod, it's normally $3,500 a night. They gave it to me for $3,000 a night. That's a nice hotel. It's like a 3.5 stars, I would say, because it's old, but it's really nice. Or if you pay $100 a night for a hotel here, you're gonna get a nice hotel. But there's no need to, because there's not much difference between a $20 a night pension house, I promise you this, and a $100 hotel here. The $100 hotel may have the weight room, it may have the free breakfast, but the $20 Ace pension house in Moncton that I tell you guys, when you get off that plane and you go down Airport Road, you get to the end of the main road, you make the left, Ace is going to be right across from Gasano Mall. $20 a night, cold air, hot and cold, Wi-Fi, cable, and it's got a swimming pool on the top deck. $20 a night. Can't beat that. Yeah, right. And this is perfect. This is why I use Airbnb now. I don't usually stay in hotels. The last time I stayed in Bacala, right before Booby was born. Well, right before the pandemic. Actually, it was March I want to say 10th, 2020. Right before me and Marilyn and her little daughter, we were in Bacala. We were staying in a nice Airbnb for $12 a night. I mean, it was $12 a night, man. Cold air, hot and cold water, and everything, man. I love the China said, I've stayed in decent hotels on the beach for $14 a night. That's why I love the Philippines. I mean, the choices that you have, man, the long trip over here. But once you get over here, man, you're going to enjoy it. Because it's like, my $100 can go a long way over here. You're not going to get a whole lot of nothing for $100 where I come from. Rosalaro Shelton, thanks for the super chat. Said, glad to be here with you, Callie Cal, and all the Sunshine Shoulder gang. I'm happy John is stable and doing as good as he is. Yeah, that morphine, man, will make a lot of your troubles go away. John Wells said these $20 a night hotels are as good, if not better than the $120 Hampton Inn rooms in the U.S. Yeah, they are, man. And that's true. Calvin said, any information on your second house? No, it's not really going to be a house. It's just going to be a little, maybe one room with a CR. The guest house, once they finish with this fence and we get the landscape in, I've already got the plans. Now that's one thing that the engineer did do for me. He didn't charge me either. He drew out the plans for my guest house and gave it to me. So all I'm gonna do is just give it to her brother and have them build it. But I'm gonna take a break. I hope that it's done by the time this is open, and it should be. But I'm not gonna be in a hurry because I'm tired of all this mud and all this incomplete stuff going on around my house. Yeah, it's not too much of a difference, the material cost. Because remember, I had a little bit of experience when we rebuilt Donna's house. And then remember, I'm not using a lot of plywood, which is very expensive here. According to Filipino standards, it's very expensive. So I'm using hollow block. I know how much hollow block is. Cement. I know what a cubic of sand, a cubic of gravel. See, I know all of that now because I've been doing it. I've been buying it. So can't nobody cheat me. That's why I left that money up in the mountains. I said, you go ahead and buy what you need to get this first house started. Because I know, and they sent me the receipt, and it's right where it should be. And I said, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Don't get too smart. And don't think you can build this house for less than 50 grand. Pesos. You probably can, but don't do it. You spend every peso and you build the best house that you possibly can up here for that. You're talking about they're living in $50 boxes up there with no ventilation, no nothing. So you take this 50,000 and you do everything you're supposed to do with it. See, now it's alert 3. If I go over there, I need a swab test. I'm going to go over there though, but eventually it's going to, level down. And I'll be able to go back over there like I did before. But all that swab test to get over there, then a swab test to get back, it's not worth it. I trust them. He said, Calvin, are you at Beach of Life? Said, Calvin, are you still making a chill out Kubo on the mountain still? That was a great idea that I would like to copy. Eventually, yeah, but what we decided to do, we want something by the water first. So we said, we're going to do that instead of the mountain. Because it was either the mountain, of course we can't do both. It was either the mountain, so she said, let's do it by the beach. Island Fish said, how are you going to vet your guests? Seems dangerous. Maybe I'm tripping. No, you're not tripping, but hell, I mean, where are they going? I mean, most of these guys probably, that's a great question, but, most of the people who are going to show up here are probably people that are on here now. My base that I would trust. If somebody just shows up, first of all, remember it's for my subscribers. It's not just for anybody. And it's just where trust has to come in. I don't know why somebody would come over here. Why would you come 8,000 miles to commit a crime? But that's a great question, Alan Fish, and it's just something that I never even thought about, man. I took it for granted. And I know I shouldn't. John said, another shot of morphine, I'll let you hook me. How addictive is that, John? I wonder how addicting that's going to be, weaning you off that morphine, John. Is that going to be hard? He says, amazing bamboo houses are sometimes deluxe accommodations and cheap. 200,000 pesos, a nice one. But the reason I don't like these them bamboo houses over here, they attract them damn big ass geckos, the one that live in the coconut trees. I don't care if you got a bamboo house, you're gonna have one of them. I guarantee you. He said, Alpine Art says, I'm there for sure. Run my background. I will, man, but I don't think people come over here for that. Yeah, John said morphine. John Gomez said morphine is addictive. I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah, yeah. This is what they call it because that's the sound that they make. Tuka, tuka. It'll drive you crazy, man. Things up. They're 4 or 5 inches long, maybe an inch and a half wide. They're not like these little ones. I got a few in my house here. I can deal with them. Those big ones, Because I was told that if they land on your skin, you got to cut them off. Paul Smith says, you can afford to go 8,000 miles. You do not need Calvin's lodgings. Yeah, it's not really for people who need it, Paul. It's like if you're passing through St. Carlos City and, you want to, why not stay here? It's no big deal. That's what it's there for. We're here to try to help each other, try to save some money at the same time. Hey, Brasilero Shelton, thanks for that super chaser. Cali Cal, what's the nearest nice hotel or Airbnb close to you when I get there, just in case your guest room isn't ready yet? There's several over here. The Malwani, they've got the Palau. Then they've got several other uh, local hotels that are nice that you can stay in. John would know because I think he stayed in one before he got his first place. But the Airbnb here is called Joy's Place. I hope she's still open because it's really a great value. It's $14 a night. Cold air run you out of there. Cable. I don't believe, does it have Wi-Fi? I can't remember. And it's in a great location right across. It's in that neighborhood right across from McDonald's and Gaisano Mall, right there on like that main little strip right up from Center Mall. But it's only $14 a night. And it's clean. And they have somebody there to wash your clothes and all of that. Yeah, I'm going to have an expat experience. I'm going to have, when this opens up, me and John, we're going to host some people here, man, when you come through here. Or maybe even in Cebu. To be honest, I would love to meet a lot of you guys. He says there are a lot of Anytime Fitness centers there. The Palau Hotel has the Viper gym. It's nice, clean. It's in a new hotel right on the first floor. There's a gym right around the corner from me. There's several gyms in this little small place in St. Carlos. Fitness is big over here, man. You're going to be shocked. One of the ladies that was in my Miss Sunshine Shoulders contest, her name was it Rosalie Ledesma? Oh, my God. You see this woman, man. She's built like a brick house, man. She's helping my girlfriend get back in shape. And she's a legitimate bodybuilder and swimsuit model. But she may or may not be. I'm thinking she may. Isn't one of the signs of taking those hormones and you got that real squeaky voice? Because her voice changed like that now. Squeaky, like, hello, Mr. Calvin. I was shocked. She didn't used to sound like that. Because a lot of that's going on over here. They juicing over here like they are in a lot of gyms. But they don't hide it. Is it illegal? I'm pretty sure it is. But I remember I was down in Zamboanga and I was going in for my workout session. And some guy was going up the stairs at the same time with me with a big clear bag of syringes. Going to the gym like it was no big deal. I mean, you might as well have had a bag of donuts. And he got there and the guy signed for him and that was it. You know, they called me Ronnie Coleman. Because, see, my genetics, man, I don't have to take that stuff. They had me too big, though. I was too big. Maryland didn't like it. Oh, yeah, he said Calvin's karaoke offered at the bars where you take the stage and people dance. I'm not a fan of singing to the TV in a living room like the Filipinos do. They've got one like that in Zamboanga that they had just opened up, where you're on stage. It's karaoke, but you're singing in front of everybody. But you don't have to be in a living room. They got some singers here, man. But hey, everybody, I want to thank y'all so much for joining me today. I've got to get off here. Sunday is the day we go grocery shopping. I want to give a shout out to John Wells, man. I'm glad you're feeling better. Glad you finally got moved, man. Y'all keep those well wishes and stuff going. I know it's good for his spirits, man. Thank you for your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up. I'm at 27,000 subscribers already. I don't know how that happened. YouTube has got me on some kind of algorithm because I was just at 25,000 not 2 weeks ago. Over 5 million views, man. I thank y'all for that, really. I appreciate all your support, man, because without y'all, it wouldn't be possible. Help somebody today, man. I know it's late over there in America, man, but I know you guys, after you watching these games and stuff, you're going on one of them beer runs, weed runs, man. You see somebody out there, man, help them. But people need help. It's cold over there now. I'm waiting on the winner of the Electronic Community Pantry to come and get her groceries. Because not a day go by, I don't help somebody up here every single day. I promise you. I'm going to help more people this year than I did last year. We gave away over 1.2 million pesos last year. I'm going to at least do 1.5 million. You know, that's half of them. You know, whatever I get, I give half of it back because I gotta live. But hey, Tim, thanks for that super chat. He said it's Tim. Hey, brother Calvin, I will be there this June trying to figure out where I want to stay at. I'm flying into Cebu. I think I want to live outside Cebu. That's a great plan. Cebu is my favorite place. So many places in Cebu to go. You don't even have to leave Cebu Island. It's a great base. And I would fly into Cebu rather than flying to Manila. That's a beehive, guys. But take care, everybody. I got to get out of here. John, if you're on here, man, I love you, man. And we're going to break that record when you get on here. We're going to get over 500 people on here to wish you back to health and to the back to the Sunshine Show's Moonshine Show show. Take care, everybody.